get you more details on this story. Clover workers are out on the streets of Johannesburg on a mass industrial action against restructuring and job losses. Newzroom Afrika's Tshegohaco Moagi is following the story. Tshegohaco, what are we seeing and hearing where you are?
Well, good morning, Judy. So what you are seeing and hearing at the moment is that these workers are going to head out into the streets here of Johannesburg. They'll be going to various shops and calling on people to boycott Clover. Now, this action is expected to get underway any moment now, as you can see that they are preparing for that moment where they'll be leaving this area to go out into the streets. But let me bring in here Mametwa Seibei. He's the president of Girusa, one of the unions that is part of this mass action. Mametwa, thank you so much for your time. Now let's start off with this mass action today. What are you going to do? What are you calling for from the people that will be in those shops?
Well, part of the resolution that came out of the mass meeting that we had was to intensify, hashtag boycott Clover campaign, which is about a consumer boycott. And part of that entails organized detachments and contingents of workers, but also community activists going into the malls, into shops, pleading firstly with the retailers not to be stocking, not to be buying Clover products, but also part of that enforcement means going to the shelves and of course taking those Clover products from the shelves into trolleys. We are not damaging the goods, but we are making statements, because part of it is that we are going to be putting the stickers that I've just given you on those particular products to say to consumers, because we do think that they need to be informed, that the products that they are consuming at the present moment, these are products of scab labor, labor that is being exploited to defeat the legitimate demands of the workers who are fighting for their jobs, who are fighting for, for their factories, who are fighting basically for their towns, because a closure of Clover would mean a devastation of many extremely vulnerable towns with fragile economic foundations, where Clover factories are one of the mainstays of those particular economies. So we think that any worker who is working with Clover at this point in time betrays not only their fellow workers, not only their own future, not only their jobs, and not only their communities, but the entire working class. Because this is a struggle that is no longer just about Clover. It is about the working class saying, for far too long since this crisis began, we've been paying the price. We are the ones that have been retrenched. We are the ones whose workplaces have been closed. We are the ones that are taking wage freezes and wage cuts. And we are saying that here at Clover, we are beginning to turn the tide. This will be a strike that will go down into the annals of history as a moment that we say the working class stood up to fight back and fight against all attacks against them.
Now, Mametwa, just quickly for me, are you not concerned about what could possibly happen in these shops as you go into the various shops and put these stickers on the Clover product?
Concerned about?
What could possibly happen? Possible violence or retaliation?
No, this is a strike that is conducted in a spirit of absolute non-violence. As I said, we are firstly going to be appealing to the business owners, as we have been doing. Obviously, if they don't want to, voluntarily agree with us, we still have a right to communicate with the consumers. And all that we're going to do, of course, is to put the stickers on the products, but most importantly as well, by taking those particular products from the shelves. What we are saying is that, this could not have been placed by Clover merchandisers who are legitimately employed, because Clover merchandisers are the ones that are here fighting that anyone who places those goods in those shelves is a scab labor, is breaking the strike, is a traitor to his fellow workers, is a traitor to his working to his class, and therefore and by taking those products down on the trolleys, we are going to leave them education. It's a statement of protest, it's a statement of solidarity with these workers that are protesting.
Thank you so much, Mametwa from Girusa. Thanks for your time. Dudu, I just want to request my colleague, if you can, just to show you the stickers that he's talking about, that they will be placing on Clover products. So this is what will be placed on the Clover products as they go to the various shops here in the city of Johannesburg. And let's just start moving back so they can start making their way as well onto the streets of the city of Johannesburg as they go to various places, various shops that they are saying they'll be going to ensure that these stickers that we have shown the viewer are actually able to be placed on the Clover products. And we'll see what happens, because there hasn't been any police presence here. And as I asked him, you know, the issue of whether they are concerned about whether or not this could cause some kind of violence. And they are saying that they'll speak first to the business owners and then to the consumers about boycotting Clover.
Tshegohaco, Moagi, thank you for that update. We'll touch base with you a little bit later on as that protest, or the protesters, make their way through the streets of Johannesburg.